They have legendary actresses like Katrina ji, Alia ji, whatnot. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I hope all of you are doing well. Today, I have a very interesting company analysis for you. Please watch this video till the very end. You will understand a lot of things how good businesses are built. So I am going to talk about an e-commerce business that I feel can become massively profitable going forward in the future. Before we begin this story, it is important to understand that e-commerce firms mostly generate a lot of losses in their initial year of operations. For example, Amazon was a massively loss-making company for several years. It was a loss-making company for several years. Then it finally turned profitable. And now, interestingly, I was just looking at the numbers. So Amazon recently on 29th July 2021, it made the quarterly announcement and it said that the net income increased to $7.8 billion in the second quarter. That's a quarterly result, right? So multiplied by at least 4, right? So that would be the annual net income, which are profits for Amazon. So the point is that e-commerce industry usually operates in such a way that initially, in the initial years, it makes massive losses, then it turns profitable and that profitability curve skyrockets. So today we are going to take a look at one such company which is India based. The company's name is Nykaa. It is in the process of launching its own IPO. It is already a profitable company. It launched in 2012 and now it is a profitable unicorn, which is very rare. So it is very important for us that in case you're a business school student or if you're someone who is looking to start your own business, there are multiple key lessons that you can take away from Nykaa's story. So without further ado, I'm going to structure this story into 3 key components. Number 1, we are going to understand Nykaa's business model, what it actually does, what are some of the key good things that it has been doing. Number 2, I'm going to give my own interpretation as to why it can become massively profitable. That's 2. Third and finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about that whether or not I'm going to invest in its IPO and what are some of the key things and key points that you must understand when a company is going to launch its IPO. So with that said, let me get this video started. So in order to understand Nykaa's business model, let's take a look at Nykaa's website, right? So I'll keep it brief to the point, nothing fancy here. So if you take a look at Nykaa, the first thing that will jump out is that it seems like a marketplace. So marketplace is a place where a lot of fashion brands, cosmetic brands, they come, they try to sell their product and Nykaa becomes a brand under which they are selling their products. So what brands is Nykaa catering to? You can see Lakme, you can see Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, bunch of different massive fashion brands are already selling their products through Nykaa. So it's a marketplace, that's one. Second, you might now be seeing a category which says Nykaa Fashion. These are homegrown brands of Nykaa. Second thing that you will observe is that Nykaa has its own cosmetics. It's called as Nykaa Cosmetics, that's 2. You will also see Nykaa Fashion. Nykaa Fashion means that initially it started out as a cosmetics aggregator. Now it is moving into fashion industry altogether, right? And now it is also doing consultation, right? The beauty advice, a lot of consultation related stuff. So it is just literally expanding in the entire ecosystem of the fashion space. That is what it is doing. It is cultivating its homegrown brand and it is a profitable unicorn as we speak. Now this is the obvious stuff and you can glean it by just looking at the website. Now there are a few key points that I would like to plug here which will help you understand more about Nykaa's business model and why it can be massively successful. Now first and foremost, it is a family affair. Now Mrs. Falguni Nair, who is the owner and the person who built Nykaa's brand, has spent a lot of time in the corporate space and she has built the company when she was 50. So it is a wonderful story of a person who turned an entrepreneur at the age 50. So that's one. Now her son, daughter are all involved in growing the Nykaa brand. So it's not a one-off affair that they are just in it for the short term. Probably the family sees it as a long-term play and they will be very committed to the business. So this is a great value add for any business. If your entire family is committed, be it a small business, be it a big business, then of course it allows you to make decisions which are super long-term. Right? So super long term. So that is the play that Nykaa is playing, that they are committed to the business, their entire family is committed to it. And that's a great positive point to add, which no financial report can outline. So this is the first key point. Now, second thing about Nykaa is that it has a massive social media following. Now, this is massive. Now, there are not many businesses that have been able to build their social media following the way Nykaa has built. If you go check their Instagram, YouTube channel, bunch of different things, it is actually very active in the social media space. Now, if you go and check the social media handles of Nykaa, you will see that they have a following of 1.17 million on YouTube, massive. They are coming out with videos every single day like me. So if you like that fact, hit the like button. So the bottom line is that very few brands, they focus on all the angles, right? Family business is there. They are focusing on social media massively because they understand that this is how fashion influencer industry is shaping up. They are focusing a lot. So they are a forward-looking firm from that angle. By having great social media handles, their marketing cost comes down, which we will discuss subsequently in this video. This is the second key advantage. The third key ability of Nykaa is its ability to pivot. Now here is an article and I will show a snippet here. It's by Fortune India magazine and it literally said that in 2020 when the COVID hit, a lot of businesses struggled. Nykaa too started struggling because it was selling a lot of cosmetics product. Now people did not want to go out to parties. They could not, right? So the sales dropped. They moved to essential services. They pivoted their entire supply chain so quickly, so massively, so interestingly that their sales did not drop massively. They were able to pivot brilliantly, right? So that's a great sign for any business that your leaders are visionary. They can understand that, hey, market dynamics are changing. We need to act very quickly. They are able to pivot the business and make that business also very profitable. This is a very important point because this brings me to the fact that Nykaa, the growth play that Nykaa is making now, it is fashion play. They are moving from pure cosmetics to fashion industry, which is what? Which is their ability to pivot. Can they pivot to fashion industry? Yes. They can easily do it. They have legendary actresses like Katrina ji, Alia ji, whatnot. So the point is that Nykaa has the ability to pivot. They have shown it during the pandemic and there is absolutely zero reason why they can't pivot towards fashion industry entirely, which is what their game plan is. And that is the reason why they are raising the IPO. There are good reasons why companies raise IPO and then there are bad reasons why companies raise IPO. My assessment is that Nykaa is actually raising the IPO money. They will pick that money up. They will pour it in terms of growing and pivoting from being a pure cosmetics brand or aggregator to becoming a leading space in the fashion industry. So the reason why they are launching the IPO, that needs to be noted down and that's commendable according to me because there is a very clear growth trajectory. There is a very clear history. The management is awesome and they have the blessings of legendary actresses like Alia ji and Katrina ji and whatnot. If you like that joke, hit the like button. So this is where we get into numbers. So there are a few key points that I would like to highlight. So this is a picture that you can take a look at. It shows the profit loss, total income and total expense over the last 3 years and you will see something good, right? Number one, the total sales or the total income has been consistently rising. That's good. Total expenses have been going up, but are they going up profitably? The answer is yes, right? That the company is profitable. It is completely okay if the company is incurring more expenses and generating more sales correspondingly profitably, right? Profit is the key output here. There is no point in a company which sells like 200 rupees of product, but to sell that 200 rupee of product, then they have to spend 250 rupees. So that scenario should not play out as long as a company is generating profits, going to the IPO market for very valid reasons. I would be a big believer in that company. So I feel that this is first key financial point or financial data point that you must remember. Now the second key chart that I would want you to see is this. Please take a look at this. This has something very, very interesting and this outlines the overall strategy of Nykaa. So you will see something called as purchase of traded goods, right? So you will see that from financial year 2019 to 2021, this has been coming down. You see these bar charts, right? The 3 bars. It has been coming down. So what are these purchase of traded goods? It means that, for example, there is L'Oreal. Now L'Oreal is actually selling its goods to Nykaa. Then Nykaa hold it on their inventory and sell it. That is what purchase of traded good means. So companies like L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, etc., they are selling goods to Nykaa. Then Nykaa used to sell it to retail consumers. So they have been cutting down on this. They are not buying enough products from L'Oreal and other brands. They are increasing their own homegrown brands, right? Because the purchase of traded good has been going down, but the total sales have been going up. If you combine these two pieces of data, what does that mean? It simply means that the company is selling more and more of its own stuff, which is a great sign because on creating their own inventory, own brand, selling its own good, what is the company trying to do? The company is actually increasing its margin. So these are two key charts that I wanted to show. Now let me move on to part 2, where I'll just give a quick input as to why I feel that Nykaa can become massively profitable. So the first and foremost thing is that Nykaa is a major player in the cosmetics industry, and the industry itself is massively profitable. The profit margins on cosmetics, guess, right? Try to give your answer in the comment box. What is the average profit margin in a cosmetics industry? The answer is 50 to 60%. That is the usual range of profits in the cosmetics industry. Now interesting question. What is the margin in paper industry, right? I will not give the answer. I will type out my answer later. But if you are in the printing space or if you are in the paper production space, what is the profit margin there, right? It's low, but guess the number there. I will update my answer in the comment box and the pinned comments in a few hours. So the industry itself is massively profitable. Cosmetics itself is very profitable. Now, as Nykaa moves to more fashion-oriented stuff, even the fashion industry, be it fashion consultations, fashion apparel, anything to do with fashion brands, etc., it again will have high profit margins. So, technically what I'm saying is that the industry in which Nykaa currently operates, it's massively profitable, high profit margins, and the industry in which Nykaa wants to move and build the entire ecosystem in, that industry is also very profitable. Number 2, Nykaa has something called as omni-channel presence. It means that, they sell online also, they sell via their stores also. It's a combination of different things, but the majority of their sales comes online, and that too via mobile. So, in order to sell online, that is where the massive profit margins are, right? Because if you're selling almost 60, 70, 80% of your entire goods via online channels, you don't need to maintain like physical infrastructure, incur a lot of cost, all that stuff. So, it's a highly profitable or the most profitable channel of sales. That is where majority of sales of Nykaa is currently being generated. So it's a profitable company from that angle. Number 3, as I showed you from the earlier graph, I'll put it here again, that it is building its own set of products. So as more and more of its own products, homegrown labels, start getting sold, it will become more and more profitable. Number 4, Nykaa's spend on marketing is low. This is massive. I can't tell you that how very few businesses focus on marketing. Nykaa is one such business that is focusing not only on omni-channel sales, but through omni-channel marketing, which is massive. And this gets validated by this piece of data. I'll put it here. In financial year 21, Nykaa's share of other expenses increased by 6.57% due to higher freight and packaging cost. Meanwhile, marketing expenses during the fiscal were down by 19%. This in context of the fact that the Nykaa sales have increased and their marketing spend has decreased. That's a great sign for any business. So they are relying more on organic marketing rather than paying ad agencies to run ads, right? So their own social media is able to generate a lot of sales, and also legendary actresses like Alia ji and Katrina ji, who are investors in this company, might be generating a lot of sales for them. Fifth and final point is that it has the ability to pivot. This is something that I had covered earlier, but please do not discount the fact that Nykaa is still a startup. It has to constantly keep pivoting. So Nykaa in the past has shown clearly that it can pivot very, very clearly and win in that market. Now they have very clear growth plans that we are going to go to the IPO market, raise money, put that money in terms of growing towards the entire fashion spectrum. They are likely to do it well given their past history. So this brings me to an interesting theory about Nykaa, that Nykaa might actually get acquired by Amazon or Walmart. Why am I saying it? I would love to hear your response, and I will give out my answer to this question as well. So the question is that why do you think that Nykaa might get acquired by something like Amazon or Walmart? Would love to read your answers, so do comment. Finally, the final section on this video is that will I be an investor in this IPO? So since we don't know what the issue price of the IPO would be, so I don't know. I have not done the valuation as of now. But if it comes out at a decent price, I am a 100% investor in this company. Do let me know your views. From a learning perspective, many people do not understand the reason why a company is launching its IPO. It is very clear, at least to me, that why Nykaa is doing the IPO, and it is doing for the right reasons, right? There are wrong reasons to launch an IPO, which is to just get investors the exit and just make money. But to me, at least, it looks Nykaa is launching its IPO because it has a growth plan in place and it wants to attain that growth plan. And I am a strong believer in their story. And therefore, I will most likely be an investor, not at the IPO stage, because many a times I get comments like that, hey, you know what, let us just jump in the IPO game right on day one. But there are a few things that you need to remember. Number one, the lot size that you get allocated, it's very low, right? I mean, the total investment amount, the type of investments that I make, the amount is very, very small for any major investor, right? You will hardly get allocated shares which are very small amount. So, it's not a massively profitable game from that angle. But yes, I'm a definite investor in their stock and I will keep you abreast and updated with all the updates that are happening. Let me know how you like the video. If there are any specific comment suggestion, do type it in. I will definitely read it. Please press the like button. That indicates to me that you appreciate this type of content and I would continue to shoot such case studies.